Today on Mr. Nashville Talks, an American Idol star, Broadway star, producer, singer, songwriter, and musician, Mr. Ace Young. Well, I'm so excited because we were able to pull in Ace Young here with us. We had him on with his beautiful wife, DeGarmo. I think, by the way, I accidentally called her Deanna on one of the things there, but
I hope you're a good cook.
Yeah.
Gonna make her a pie.
That's right. But, thank you for coming and staying over and doing this for us. You were on season 5 of Idol. Tell us what was going on through your mind when you went in, the whole process of doing Idol, because that kind of kick-started your success.
I mean ultimately, I had eyes on Idol since season 1, just being a performer. I mean, I'm an athlete, the youngest of 5 boys. I'm still the runt of the litter at 6'1". I'm small.
Really? Oh, wow.
And growing up, I had been singing since I was 11, writing my own music and performing. I'd been out in LA for 2.5 years already performing and opening up for some big acts out in LA before I tried for Idol. So if I'm going to give up the ability of my branding and I'm going to give them the creative control, I got to make sure I hit a mass amount of people so that I can still work after this show opportunity. So Idol was at this moment where it was bubbling, and I happened to hit just on the right note. I hit the biggest Idol season of all time before TiVo came in and recorded everything.
Wow.
And people could wait until they get home. I hit the one season that had the most viewers, and we had the biggest tour after, and we had 60 sold out arenas with 10 of us singing cover songs.
Wow.
Like, it was unheard of.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I made some really good friends, and our top 10, I think there's 7 that are making careers still. 13, 14 years after. Mandisa's been up for multiple Grammys with her Christian career. Bucky's still touring. He's got his brother playing. Chris is still touring. I was fortunate enough to write his first song with him, It's Not Over.
Wow.
And did that while we were on the Idol tour.
Yeah.
He was stuck on a song, didn't have a chorus. I wrote It's Not Over. And then we went out and did a show.
That's awesome.
And that was just a part of the day.
Yeah.
We saw Kelly Pickler has been doing great.
Yeah.
She's been just a little bubble personality and having a ball. And Taylor Hicks just moved here. He's in Germantown now.
Really? Oh, wow.
And Ellie visits all the time. Like, it was a weird year.
Just kind of like a family. I mean, or like, real close-knit group.
And we were all so different that even when the production tried to put us against each other, like, you're in competition. No, we're not.
No,
we're different. Like, you made an apple pie, I made a strawberry pie.
Right.
Totally different.
Well, see, that's one thing, I wonder with someone like you, because I know that you are an incredible producer. You see the whole picture. I bet that is hard when you're in the studio with Idol, to give it all up. But like you said, the bigger audience is there, and but did they give you any give and take, or?
Oh, no.
No, not at all.
No,
wow.
Man, they edited it however you wanted.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it literally, if this whole interview, all I said was, no, I like chocolate pudding, or I like brownies, that's all you showed.
Wow.
And you could cut out everything else. They didn't say anything about what I had been doing for the 2 years before.
Wow.
They didn't say anything about music. They acted like I came from Colorado. And I'd been living in LA already for a couple of years.
Wow.
So they get all rights, but you sign that over.
Yeah.
And it's not about where you live, it's about what you do for the art.
What you do, yeah.
And the art for me is music, it's stage, it's art is painting, it's sculpting, it's movies, it's television.
Yes.
What are you bringing to it that gets my attention or doesn't? If you don't wake people up, then you're not doing anything for the art. You can't just show up and just be you.
Yes, yeah.
Like, oh, Larry's here.
Right,
all right, we're all good.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's not a show.
Right.
Like, ultimately, that's just us hanging. That's a barbecue.
Yeah.
And unless your show's called Larry's Barbecue, we're not doing it. So I look at it like, yes, you're giving up certain things when you do a show like that to their production ability. But at the same point, you just got to stay true to yourself.
Yes.
Pick a character like you would for something you're acting in.
Yeah.
Be your character. As long as you're always in that character, they can't show anything that's not genuine.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was a growing process for me. It took a lot of time for me afterwards to get my swag back. As an artist, I had more swag before Idol and
Right.
more comfort than getting criticized on national TV and then running into strangers thinking their opinion matters.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
I always wonder about that.
I
Do
don't.
people say?
Not anymore.
But back then, did
Oh
they?
yeah, of course.
Oh gosh.
But you know, it's like it's interesting when somebody comes up and they say something that they're trying to say hello, but they'll be like, "Oh, you know, I love your friend Steve. I voted for him, but you were good too." It's
Yeah.
like, why didn't you just say hi? But it took me a minute just to understand that that was their way of actually being excited.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it took me a long time to not think about the criticizing of art. It took me a long time to figure out what is the necessity of art.
Mm-hmm.
And really all it is to show its genuine raw state.
Yeah.
To actually be vulnerable in the art, so that people go somewhere emotionally when they hear it or see it.
Yes.
And that's my dream now, is just to wake people up. And I got to do that with Diana's album. When I produced her album, I legit got to create this frame around this beautiful painting that she created. And don't mess with the picture.
Right.
Just frame it. Put the glass on it. Hang it on the wall.
Yeah.
But don't mess with the picture.
Yeah.
And I truthfully feel that as long as we lock into the genuineness of why are we creating anything,
Yes.
then it will resonate.
Right.
And everybody will understand it. Doesn't matter how it's edited.
Exactly. That's what I tell. Like when I produce, I say just paint. I'd rather don't worry if you just give some emotion to it, and sometimes instead of just hitting the precise diction just right and all that, you got to put some heart in there.
Yeah.
I mean, all those things are important, or you get sloppy, but if you hear a little tear in a voice, if you hear,
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. That's to me what art is and what recording.
And going back before that, have a reason to paint.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have nothing to say, we've hit this moment because of all these shows where everybody's learning how to belt, but nobody has anything to say.
Exactly.
So they're just screaming, and all I hear is babies crying.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're grown-ups. And I'm like, wow, you really hit that note for no reason.
Exactly.
Like, there's no point, unless somebody just walked away and you need to order a Dr. Pepper. There's no reason to be that loud. You have nothing to say. There's no life experience behind it.
Exactly.
Find your reason to paint.
Exactly.
And then any frame will just magnify it.
Exactly. Have something, in your heart to sing about that create. As a performer, you can create even if you didn't write the song, I think that so many people are so programmed into doing exactly what everybody else is doing or how everybody else has done certain genres and songs before, like you'll hear every competition or every young girl, they're singing Patsy Cline, just like Patsy Cline. They haven't found themselves.
Nope.
Does it make,
Yeah, if you're singing a song and you're worried about the riff
yeah.
that's in the song, you haven't connected to the emotion of the reason why the song was ever written.
Now, I guess you produced yourself first, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Were you more interested in the production side at first, or the performing side, or just all of it just came natural?
To be perfectly honest, just being a poor kid, if you want your art to get to the finishing line, sometimes you gotta wear some hats.
Yeah.
So I just wore some hats. I became my own mixer in '91.
Wow.
And I've been my own engineer since. And if I have another engineer that's great, awesome.
Yeah.
I'll just be behind him, telling him where the target is.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it was just to get the art to the finish line. I didn't plan on producing ever in my life. I liked writing. I liked recording. I've become a lot more than that. So
Yeah.
I've become a stem cleaner. I've become a mixer. I've become an engineer. I've become a person that had to play more instruments than I even imagined.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, I now am comfortable with anything.
Yeah.
So whoever we get on board within a production, I can let them do their thing, and I can cover everything else.
Yeah. Well, now, you worked out in LA, you worked here. There's always talk about, recording in LA is different than recording in Nashville. I think it's more about who you're working with, but how do you describe it from the two different aspects of it?
Interesting. LA and New York are very similar in recording. They like to, if you're doing a band, they like to record a lot of people one at a time and stack them. Meaning you play your drums to a click,
Yeah.
Next guy comes in with his bass to your drum. Next guy comes in with a guitar to the bass and drum. You're just stacking.
Yeah.
I hate stacking.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
there's no unification of the sound
Right.
when you're stacking. And then as an editor, it gives me a lot of work to do because I have to now find a pocket
Yeah.
that you're all going to seem like you found together.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of hours of time. And finding the leader of the instruments is not fun when you have it stacked.
Exactly.
So New York and LA do that, but they do it because real estate is more expensive.
Yeah.
The rooms
Yeah.
are smaller. They can't just let everybody jam unless you have a huge budget. Now in LA, I have seen a lot of people perform at the same time, but it was a 30-piece orchestra at Capitol Records, and that day cost them $20,000.
Right. Yeah.
So I've done those days. In Nashville, the idea of a band recording is a band all recording at the same time. Now they're going to jam your idea for 6 minutes,
Yeah.
and in those 6 minutes they're all looking at each other and they find a pocket. They pick the leader of the band in that song, and then by the time you get to the take with the singer, the editing is done.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you got to do is hit record,
Yeah.
and then go back and again, don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up.
Literally just frame it, because if we can't hear something, find their EQ popping point and get it to stick out. Put them in the right place so they don't overstep the lead vocal, and find their place on stage digitally.
Yeah.
And set them there.
And there's like a lot of great camaraderie too in there, you know, and
Nashville's
ideas.
become everything live.
Yeah.
So what happens when we have everything live recording? You get rock recording. You get jazz recording. You get country recording. You get everything live.
Yeah.
Whereas in LA and New York, you get somebody that plays one acoustic guitar and then every other instrument is a fake sound on a MIDI.
Yeah.
Meaning, it looks like a piano, but they're sampling other sounds.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the radio right now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it kills my soul because there's no feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no human element.
Exactly.
It's like if I gave my phone an idea and it gave me the digital imprint of how it felt the band should fill that, that's what I feel like MIDI does to my soul. It's like, we're gonna make it. Here's your Mr. Roboto of now, and there's gonna be no guitar solo. There's gonna be nothing. That's our animal.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of what we do in the first place, is we're containing an emotion.
Yes.
But the emotion comes from us being an animal.
Yeah.
And our animal wasn't this tame when it came into the world.
Right.
Took a lot of years to make this wild animal fit in.
Yes. Right. Right.
So on stage, I feel like we get to let that wild animal out.
Yeah. Now you got your new album coming out.
I do.
Tell us, well, first of all, do you know the title, or you don't want to say yet? Maybe
I do, but I'm not going to say it yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
that's fine.
so the fun thing with my album that just happened is I didn't want to write something just to write something.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody wants to hear from me anymore.
Right.
I don't care what style anybody wants to hear from me. For me, it's not like you're gonna get that in a show. If you hire me to play a character, you're gonna get that character, and I'll give you that style. But for my statement of music, for what inspired me to what I want to inspire to push music to another place, it's real simple. It's all feel.
Yeah.
It's all intention. And for that, the entire album, every song is one take.
I love that.
And it's just me and a guitar.
That's awesome.
No backgrounds.
I love that.
No other instruments.
Yeah.
And it took me 2 years to write these songs, because I was actually sitting there without peacocking or insecurely saying, oh, but I gotta show this or I gotta show that. What do I want to say in this song?
Yeah.
And why does it matter?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you into you.
Yes.
I'm trying to get you to where you're comfortable with yourself.
Exactly.
Because the average person plays music to get away from themselves.
Yeah.
And I play it for me to find myself. So I want you to be comfortable enough to find yourself when you play my album.
I love that. I love that. I mean, because, the music we grew up listening, it was like such an experience. You got the record, you got it out, you listened, you're invested, you read, the liner notes, you looked at the pictures, everything. It was like an experience. And then, some better than others.
Yeah.
But, but great songwriters and things, I mean, they took you to where they were at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most people that could play an instrument took you even further.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
they had a connection to their instrument that framed what they were saying in a way that some other guitarist just coming into play
Yeah.
wouldn't understand.
It's like visually painting. I mean,
It's huge.
Audibly painting. And I appreciate that about you, because that's kind of gone.
Now, when a genuinely written song
Yeah.
makes sense for a big business,
Yeah, that's great
that's
too.
a magical moment, because what you have is you have the financing from a big business
Yeah.
paying the real art.
Yeah,
And that's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the Beatles still being
Yes.
played in commercials to
Yeah.
this day. Now those are the celebrations.
Yes.
That's the songwriter's dream. That's
Yeah.
why you live in Nashville.
Yeah.
So you can have that opportunity. But when you're trying to write a song specifically to sell something,
Yeah.
that isn't you.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, it just loses its charisma.
If you write it deep enough to touch you, then I think if you don't write it great enough to touch yourself, you can't really touch anybody else, if
True.
that makes sense.
If it doesn't inspire
speak
you
to
saying it,
yeah.
nobody's going to be inspired listening.
And then after you put it down, you play it back, and if it still doesn't, even after 50, 60, 70, listening to it over and over, if it still speaks to you, I mean, you obviously you might get tired of hearing it, but your soul doesn't.
You know
ever.
what? You don't. I'm
Yeah.
doing musicals and singing the same set, over 400 times.
Yeah.
Over a year and a half. You're doing a show 8 times a week. What always gets me, and it gets me with my own music as well, is somebody sitting there for the first time, never heard a musical. Somebody sitting there for the first time, never heard you sing.
Yeah.
And they've heard you on your recording. This
Yeah.
is the first time they're going to hear that song bouncing off the walls of this venue that they spent, $25, $60, whatever it was to get in. That's their first experience. And what that does to me is it ties me to my first time I ever took a vinyl of Jackie Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And I set it down, and I start playing it, and I swear that dude was singing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody else was there.
Exactly.
I never got to hear Jackie in a room.
Right.
But I want to be that first time when you come see me, and I just want to hang out. So I don't need to go through the insecurities. I'm going to tell you some great stories. I'm going to show you the inspirations that inspired me just in my writing, because those are the reasons I sing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not emulating them. I'm
Right.
not copying them.
Right.
I'm now speaking from my own life experience, and I don't care if we're at a fire pit where it's just you and me, or if we're in a stadium with 108,000 people. You're getting the same show.
Yeah.
And it's
I love
going to
that.
seem like it's just me and you.
That's great, because that's when you pull them in. That's when you get the lifelong fans. Because like you said, I still remember the people that are most dear to me. I still remember when I heard their first song, or what I was going through with this life event, or whatever. You tie it to music, or at least music lovers do.
Well, it definitely locks it to the decade.
Yeah. Yeah.
The music changes every 10 years for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it comes back around 20 years because the parents now have their kids and they want to get the parents' attention, so they're playing stuff from 20 years before, and all of a sudden that's every commercial.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing, because then the parents get to show the kids what inspired them in music in the first place.
When is the album coming out? Do you know?
I'm looking first quarter next year.
Okay.
It's basically done now.
Okay.
But there's no reason to push. There's no hurry. Like, this is what I wanted to make to leave on my gravestone for music.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am in no hurry to get it out. I'm going to probably print some vinyls, and we'll just have it come out in the first quarter.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And we'll have your website up, so they'll
Be perfect.
they can get it on there. Now, the Broadway shows.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite Broadway show that you did? I know each role probably means something different to you, but is there a certain character that meant the most to you, or a certain show that was your favorite to do?
Every show, I'm very lucky being an athlete first. Every show there's a camaraderie, and I use everybody in the cast.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on, if you feel like you're not important in the cast, I'm going to use you even more. So everybody has to do their part.
Yeah.
So I really was fortunate in the way that all the other actors responded with me in the shows I've done, because they all stepped up. And they were all there.
That's good.
They were all present.
Yeah.
I don't think that my dream part has happened yet. I want to challenge writers to figure it out.
Yeah.
And also realize that we're acting.
Yeah.
So it would be a person that's probably very different than the me you know.
Right. Right.
Because that's the beauty
That's
of
the
it.
fun. Yeah.
That's the most fun.
Yeah.
Playing Stacey Jacks this last month was a blast.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, very different than me. Playing Radames and Aida, very different than me. A lot of fun. Playing Burger and Hare, I got to be my animal. And a lot of people loved my animal because my animal loved them. Yeah. I wasn't going to run up and hurt you. I was going to run up and give you the biggest hug you've ever felt in your life.
Right.
I was going to get you out of your seat and make sure you love yourself today.
Yeah, yeah.
I took you to church.
That's right, yeah.
And we enjoyed that experience. When I did Grease for the first time, I played a mean guy. I played Kaneki.
Yeah, yeah.
And I made sure that you saw Kaneki. You didn't see Ace.
Yeah.
When I came out of the theater, some people weren't sure if I was going to give him a hug. And I did, because I was now Ace. I got out of character. But I don't think my dream role's been made yet. So I challenge the writers that are, even the future writers. If you're watching right now and you're like, man, I got this musical idea, and I think that, we need this person to be the unexpected serial killer, but we love him until that moment.
Yeah.
Write it.
Awesome.
Make some great music, and if it makes sense for the art, then I'll challenge myself with it. But art to me is just waking people up.
Yeah.
And I understand that everybody jumps in and they're trying to emulate the things that inspired them.
Right.
Like, oh, when I saw so-and-so do this role, now I have to do that role.
Yeah.
It's not about that.
Right.
It's about doing something that gets people out of their phones for 2 hours. Where at the intermission, they're actually looking at a stranger next to them and they're blown away and they're going, what just happened? Instead of going right to their phone and just looking on Instagram for 15 minutes while they're in line at a bathroom. Yeah. Like, I want to wake you up. That's my job.
I love that. And, there's a connection with the Broadway fans, similar to like country music fans. They always stay with you. It's like, if they saw you in one show, I'm talking about the diehard fans. They see you, they get connected, they stay with you. I think, like you say, it's a lot of... the fact, Broadway, they come out after and sign autographs, and country music fans, at least traditionally, the artists always used to do that.
Of course.
And some of them still do, even if it's on a smaller scale. And if not, they still have fanfare. So they still remember meeting that interaction and connecting with that person. And I think that's one reason why they stick around so long. The connection.
Everybody's looking for a reason.
Yeah.
A reason to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
And
feel validated.
And it's interesting. Like, you should be able to look in a mirror in the morning, tell yourself, I'm good enough, believe it, and not need anything.
Yeah.
Because you already got everything. You got your portal.
Yeah.
What else do you need? Go have fun. What are you doing? Why are you criticizing yourself and making it hard before you even start the day? That should be your start. Now, the funny thing that you said about... the fans to me are strangers. But I'm comfortable enough to be myself, an open book, 100%, to where I'll let you see me. Now we're gonna hit a moment of realness when you let me see you, because I'm already open. So when I came out of the stage door, I had to tone it down. Yeah, I had to get out a burger inside. I had to come back to reality so I could walk up and say, pleasure to meet you. I'm Ace.
Yeah. Love that.
Thanks for coming to the show. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
I don't need to know if you enjoyed me. Did you enjoy the show? Yeah. Because that took 28 people on stage, another 20 people behind with lights and moving stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's art.
Yeah.
And,
I love that.
And you don't have to tell me if you like me, because I just do what the director says.
That's right.
And if the director's happy, I'm done.
See, you actually would be really good at like some uplifting, like, speaking things too. Because I mean, this is really deep. I like that. I love it though.
But it's so simple.
Well, I know it's simple, but I mean, to the average person, they complicate, like you said.
You make it weird.
Yeah.
Isn't that
exactly.
funny?
Exactly.
But it's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
And then when you run into that person again, you're like, oh, now I'm the weird guy.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And you don't want to bring up like, oh, remember when we were in that elevator together?
Right.
Because it was already awkward.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, but thank you. I'm all about comfort, man. And that's where my album is. I feel that most people aren't comfortable with themselves, let alone the world. So I'm trying to just start where you can get comfortable with you.
I love that. Is there anybody in the future that you want to collaborate with? Everyone. That's great. I love that. I love that. You're just that open. I love that.
I want to work with everybody. Everybody that has something to say, I'm ready. I'm ready to work with you. Because it's funny, I've messed up in production my whole life to where I can get you to the finish line, but I can't say your statement.
Right.
So if you already have the statement, call me.
Yeah, I love that.
Let's get that thing to the world.
That's awesome.
And it's not hard.
Yeah.
Especially in Nashville.
No,
I mean, if you want a lot of band, we'll get a lot of band. If you want a little band, we'll get a little band. We'll have it in 2 days.
And everybody's heart is in it.
That's it.
You know? Everybody's heart is in those
And if it's not, we'll kick them out.
Well, you get another one. Yeah. Because you throw a nickel and you'll hit somebody. You know, there's a player or a songwriter.
And if they're having a bad day, we'll call them the next day.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
It's like we're human. And what do we have when we're human? Human error. So everybody has a bad day.
Yeah.
But on average, if you decide my average day is going to be awesome, that's my average, then bad things are going to happen regardless.
Right.
And you're going to deal with them.
Right.
But if you're in that normal state that most people are at, they're like, oh, well, it's okay. And they're on this teetering point where you now let somebody else, based on their day, decide if your day is going to teeter good or bad.
Good or bad, yeah. That's smart.
You're giving a lot of power to somebody that doesn't care about your day.
Exactly.
So for me, it's like it's all about just saying this is awesome. You look in the mirror. You're happy that you got your portal. If you want your portal to change, go do something to it. It'll react. If you already have a fan base, sweet. If you don't, if you're genuine to yourself, those millions of people that like that and can relate, they're going to come out of the woodworks.
Yeah.
Now you have a fan base.
Exactly. I love that. That's smart.
It's not hard.
No.
But the funny thing is, I look at life every day like a buffet.
Yeah.
So there's a buffet. We are the winning animal. We won.
Yeah.
The only animal that weighs more than us right now in the whole world is termites. There's more termites than there are our species.
Yeah, right.
And we will never see them because the sun kills them.
Yeah, that's right.
So with us, we're winning. So we literally have a buffet of opportunity every day. Now, the one thing that people make as a big mistake when they go to the buffet is they're listening to the person next to them going, man, that pork was really good. And you're sitting there going, maybe I should get the pork. I don't want to lose out on the pork.
Right.
I got to get it. When all I want's the chocolate pudding.
Right.
Why don't I just get what I want? It's a buffet. I can come back.
That's right.
Why am I trying to fill their insecurities? Why am I listening?
Yeah.
So all you got to do is look at the buffet, pick what you like.
I love that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I love that.
And come back when you want more.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming and being on the show. I mean, we kind of lassoed you in.
Where there is Diana, there is Ace.
Yeah,
we make sure we see each other as often as we can because this world definitely pulls us apart.
Yeah.
So we enjoy our time together. That's why we got married.
That's right. That's right.
But I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in and sitting at our house and relaxing and getting comfy.
For you to welcome us into your home means a lot, and into your life and into your music. I mean, that means a lot. So I don't take it lightly.
Well, there's going to be a lot more coming. So just pay attention. We'll make sure to get you more music.
That's right. And follow the website that's on the screen. And his album will be out first quarter in next year. So
and everything's as simple as Ace Young. So on Instagram, Ace Young. On Twitter, I am Ace Young. Somebody else stole my name. But it's easy to find us.
Yeah.
And hanging out like this is fun because we don't get to hang out with everybody at home like this.
Right.
But we do through you guys.
Yes.
So this is a big thing for us to be able to hang out with everybody at home and they get to see us on our casual state. But when the album comes out, all we have to say is pick it up, play it.
That's awesome.
And for Diana, her album's out. So Gemini is out. It's a live album. So if you haven't seen it on its feet, come see it on its feet.
Yeah, and then if you want the vinyl, it's there too. So
if you want the party to keep going when you get home, buy the vinyl.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Subscribe to our mailing list, and you could win a CD or DVD project by today's featured artist. To enter, please go to www.mrnashvilletalks.com and enter your email address. While there, take a look around, browse through our music store, or order one of our Mr. Nashville Talks t-shirts for $20. I want to hear from you, so follow our social media via Twitter, Instagram, or like us on our Facebook page.